Welcome to the Social 7, a conversation on the week's top stories in social media and marketing.
Jumping right into it this week, our number 7 story, we're talking about YouTube Live, which was a live concert featuring a number of different artists, including Katy Perry, will.i.am, the Mythbusters performed an experiment there. There was a lot of speculation going into it whether exactly what it was going to be. A lot of people thought that they were actually going to be introducing their own live streaming service similar to Ustream or Mogulus or Justin TV. Turned out to just be an event, turned out to be pretty popular too, and
yeah, I think numbers reported recently are that it reached 700,000 simultaneous users. When whether or not you thought the actual event was a success, I think you can definitely say it was entertaining. You had DJ Mike Realm, who I thought was my favorite performer of the night, as well as some other special awards given out, including the Visionary Award presented to the Queen of Jordan.
Yeah.
Personally, my favorite was Katy Perry.
Of course.
Moving on to number 6. Rumors of Facebook acquiring Twitter have finally come to an end this week, with Zuckerberg offering $500 million in Facebook stock and Williams declining the offer.
Yeah, actually just a few weeks ago at the Web 2.0 Summit, Mark Zuckerberg was asked outright about the rumors of the acquisition. He called it silly. So I guess Twitter thought the offer of stock from a company that is not yet public was kind of a silly offer for them. So not going to happen.
Not going to happen. But let's switch off to a company who does have stock. It's paying well. Apple recently announced their top or most popular applications of the year, both paid and the free categories. Number 1 free application out of their overall 10,000 applications was Pandora. But on the social side, number 5 was AIM, the instant messaging platform from AOL, and number 6 was Facebook.
Yeah, another real interesting thing off this, they also announced this week, sort of in conjunction with that there's now 10,000 applications available in the store. I don't know how you navigate through all those on an iPhone. And also, 300 million applications have been downloaded, including 100 million just in the last 6 weeks alone. So they are clearly moving product through that store.
Definitely.
Well, that definitely shows the popularity of the iPhone, if you didn't already realize.
The what? iPhone?
Anyways, number 4 story this week. On December 1st, Yahoo released information on their top 10 searches for both mobile and web. The top 10 searches for web or top 3 for web were Britney Spears, WWE, and Barack Obama. And for mobile, it was MySpace, Facebook, and Craigslist. And it's just really interesting to note how consumers are using different platforms for different reasons. For example, 6 out of the top 10 searches for on the web were personality-based, and most of them for mobile were either social networks or local.
Yeah. One thing I found interesting, too, is sort of what you could call the lack of substance or just the entertainment value of all top 10 searches. There weren't sort of any hard news topics, even though the fact that we just had an election this year in those top 10 searches. It was all about kind of celebrities and games. So I found that actually kind of interesting looking at those top 10 results.
And our number 3 story is YouTube. You guys ready?
Yes.
Our number 3 story is around censorship and what YouTube and Ning announced this week. YouTube announced that it's going to restrict videos containing profanity and sexually suggestive material, and Ning announced that it's no longer going to support adult-themed communities. And the New York Times headline said it best: YouTube and Ning just say no to sex.
And it's interesting too, because if you go to YouTube's blog post that they put out on Monday, there's more than 1,300 comments, and most of them were expressing outrage.
I'm shocked to hear that. Moving into number 2, one of the same companies involved, Google and Facebook this week announced their new Connect platforms, which allow integration across sites. Google's actually is partnering and based on OpenID. Facebook created their own. For both of them, basically the point is you can use one login, in this case either your Google login or your Facebook login, and be logged into applications across the site, so you don't have to be holding on to multiple credentials wherever you go.
And the main difference between the two, too, is that Facebook is really two-way, whereas Google's more one-way.
Right, so it should be interesting because with Facebook, you'll actually be able to push those stories back from the sites that you're interacting on back into Facebook, so your friends can kind of see what you've been doing around the web.
And I'm really curious to see how this resonates with customers, because I know when they announced the mini feed, so many people were upset. So
Well, and when they had Beacon, which was where they integrated with advertisers, people got really outraged.
Yeah.
They did not like people seeing where they were shopping online. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see what happens.
And switching to our number one story of the week on the Social 7, major news event happened in the world. I know everyone's familiar with the tragedy that happened in Mumbai. A lot of people in the social networking realm or social media realm were talking about the impact and role of Twitter, as the tragedy unfolded and how people were communicating worldwide. CNN, to quote them, said, "It was a day social media appeared to come of age and signaled itself as a news gathering force to be reckoned with." So I thought that was pretty powerful stuff from CNN.
I mean, and especially that first day, it took the news crews and really especially the major media organizations some time to get set up there. And so for the first day, your only option if you really wanted to actually know what was going on, or at least have some grasp of it, I'd say, was you had to be on Twitter or on blogs to find it. Now, of course, the downside to that was, as you always see when you're talking about social media or blogs, because it's not accredited or sort of journalists actually doing the reporting, there was a lot of misinformation out there, and it definitely took some time to sort through everything that was going on.
But definitely it played an important role in terms of sharing of news, safety, finding out if your family members or friends are safe. Mm-hmm. So those are the top 7 stories this week on the Social 7. You can go online at thesocial7.com, get more information, and find links to these stories as well.
Make sure you also check out our tweet of the week and our social shutterbug of the week, both available.
Right out of my mouth.
Both available on our website at www.thesocial7.com.
All right, and feel free to submit any story ideas you have for next week's episode.
And you can also email those ideas to thesocial7@gmail.com. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching.